Hey all, how are you? So I haven't used Facebook Live, like the actual live of Facebook, in a really long time. So how are you doing? I use StreamYard for almost everything, right? But for these lives, sometimes I hop on Facebook Live and their platform is still as confusing as ever. So that's good to see that things haven't changed. How are you guys? When you're here, say hello. You know what I'm doing though, because whenever I am on from Facebook, I go right to the group on my phone so that I can see if comments are coming in, because I can't always see comments in the Facebook Live in the Facebook Live thing, and I don't know why, but it looks like I'm here. It looks like you're here. Everybody's all here. So hello. How are you guys? What's going on? I'm so excited about today's topic. I'm also so excited to get all this decorated, but like I'm super excited about today's topic. It is one of my favorite things. I promise. And I mean, I really promise you that if you can embrace this, if you can grasp this concept, if you can change your perspective and implement these things, you will absolutely notice a huge difference in your business. Like it will be quick and it will be incredible, and you will be like, oh, I can't believe I haven't done this whole time. So what we're talking about today is how to feel inspired without feeling inferior. But what does that mean, right? What does that mean? So like, how many of you are like this? So I used to be like this. How many of you, and if you're watching on replay, definitely let me know. Use the hashtag replay so I know. But how many of you set a goal and then you go in on achieving the goal and you achieve the goal and then you're on to the next goal? Like how many of you are kind of like that, like a goal chase? We'll call it a goal chaser. I don't really want to call it a goal chaser, but you know what I mean. Like you set a goal and then you work and you achieve the goal, and then you set another goal and then you work and achieve the goal. Like I love goals. Everybody knows I love goals, but how many of you are like that, where it's like you achieve it, but you're on to the next thing, right? Almost immediately. It's like, oh, I reached this, so now here's my new goal. I was just talking to a client about this the other day who got a speaking engagement. And she had the speaking engagement, and then it turned into, oh, okay, well, now I'm like, I've got a goal of writing the speech. I've got a goal of doing this. So how many of you do that? Like, there's a goal. I want to get a client. I want to create a course. I want to write a book. And you reach that goal, and then it's on to the next goal. You have another goal set. Like, tell me that in the comments. Yes or no, is that you? It used to be me, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with goal setting, because everybody knows I am a huge, big goal setter. So Kim, oh hey Kim, Kim's like me, right? In fact, this is normal because our entire life is like this, right? Our entire life follows this trajectory of goal after goal after goal. It's how we're raised, right? It's like you go to kindergarten, and what's the goal after that? To go to first grade, and then you go through school, right? And the goal after that is to go to college, and then after that, you have a goal of getting your first job, and then there are goals within the jobs, right? Like, get the entry-level position, get a promotion, get a raise, move to this kind of job. There's also getting married, right? I see this with dating clients all the time, like, getting married, and then after you're married, you have the kids, and then after the kids, I don't know, like, I don't have kids, so so I stopped there. But you know what I mean? Like, that's the way that we're raised, okay? Kim's like, am I that client? No, it's not you, Kim. I mean, it could be you, but it was not you. It was not you that I was talking about, but it could easily be you, Kim. But you see what I'm saying? Like, this is a normal way of thinking, because this is how we are brought up in the world, right? There's a goal, you achieve it, there's another goal, there's another milestone, there's another thing, and like, even like, you get the whatever, you climb the corporate ladder as far as you can go, and then there's a goal for retirement, and there's a goal for everything, right? And that's always because we're kind of like, well, okay, I'm gonna get to that in a minute. So how many of you actually like goals? How many of you are goal motivated? And again, on the replay, let me know. But like, a goal motivates you to keep going. I mean, this is why a lot of people set goals, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to set a goal. I'm going to reach the goal, but now I need another goal to stay motivated and to keep moving, right? So I'm going to set this other goal, and then I'm going to set this other goal. So how many of you feel like that? Like, you're goal motivated? Say yes or no in the comments. Kim's like me. And then how many of you, and I'm really going to be curious to see on the replay how many people say this, but like, how many of you feel like you're waiting to achieve a goal so that you can, I don't even know how to word this, like obtain something? So I see this a lot with, like, when I was doing date coaching, right? People would say like, once I'm married, then I can whatever. It's like, oh, well, or even once I've got my partner, right? Like, once I've got my partner, then I'll go buy all the time. I'll go out a lot more. I'll be more social. Like, once I'm dating, then I can like go do all of these things. Once I have my boyfriend or my girlfriend or my partner or my husband, then I can do all of this stuff, right? I see this, okay, so that's with dating. With business owners, I see it like this. Once I'm making $5,000 a month, then I can do X. Once I'm making $5,000 a month, then I can hire a virtual assistant. Once I'm making $10,000 a month, then I'll be able to like pull back on the amount of time I'm working. Or once is there a goal that you guys have in mind? I'm curious about this. Is there a goal that you guys have in mind in your business? It could be a money goal. It could be just that something happens, like a situation or an event happens, but that this money goal or this situation or event will show you that you've made it. How many of you feel like you haven't made it until X? Okay, so like once I make 6 figures, then I'm a legit business. Or like, once I've gotten this kind of client, then I'm the real deal. Or once I've made this much income this consistently for this many months, then I'm a real business. Or do you know what I mean? Once I'm on the news, then I've really become an expert. Or once I'm paid to speak, then I'm really an expert in my field. Or how many of you have any kind of marker like that? Like, once this thing happens, then it's real, or you're the real deal, or you've made it. And like, that's a very normal thing for people to say. It's like, okay, once I this, then I know that I'm the real deal. Or once I get a client, then I know I'm good at what I do. Or once I blank, then I blank. So I'm curious, and if that's you, share it. Like, the more interactive you are on this particular Facebook Live, the more power you're going to walk away with, the more impact you're going to walk away with, and the faster the change in your business that you're going to walk away with, right? So there are 2 camps when it comes to goals, right? We've got the goal-motivated people, and then we have camp 2. So I'm curious how many of you fall into camp 2. Camp 2 people are, well, they fall into the camp of sometimes setting a goal makes us feel bad. Or like, they don't like to set goals because the very act of setting a goal can kick off the spiral that really doesn't make them feel good. So how many of you are like that? I know I have got some clients that do not like setting goals because it does not make them feel good about themselves. Because what's happened for goal motivated people, you're gonna be like, what? I don't get it. How can setting a goal make you feel bad about yourself? Like, I don't understand that, right? But here's what's happening in camp 2. It's a set a goal, and then they're focused on what they don't have. It's like, I'm setting a goal to make $10,000 a month. But then they immediately, even if they don't realize it, they immediately feel bad that they don't have the goal, right? That they don't already have the $10,000. Or maybe it's a goal that they've set before and they didn't reach, and that makes them feel bad. Or they kind of feel like they're not going to reach it again, and it makes them feel bad, right? Or they do set it and it doesn't happen, and then they feel bad, right? So for all of these reasons, there are people in this camp who would rather not set goals. So if that's you, I would love to know. Absolutely, tell me on replay too, right? So we've got these 2 camps of people. We have goal-motivated people who really are like, They move forward, goal after goal after goal, and they use these external goals as kind of an indication of going to the next milestone. After I this, then I can this, or this is what motivates me because this is climbing up. I know I'm progressing and going further when these different things happen, right? That's camp 1. And then camp 2, that's I don't like to set goals. I don't like to set goals because I feel bad about what I don't have. It's like, I should have that already. Why don't I have that already? Like, I'm just frustrated now that I don't have it. And now I feel bad that I don't have it. And the goal just reminds me that I don't have it. And I've set the goal before and I haven't gotten it. And what's going to be different this time, right? So those are the 2 camps, right? As a lawyer, I really fell into camp 2 quite often. Okay, so as a lawyer, I was in camp 2. I'll admit that. I'll own that, right? And so I would look at what other lawyers were getting, like other opportunities that lawyers had, money that I knew other lawyers were making when they got to take certain kinds of cases and I didn't get to take those cases, when they got to meet with certain partners and I didn't get to meet, when they got to take a certain trip or get travel and I didn't get that, right? Like, I was always like setting goals because I wanted what they had, right? So it's like, I want that thing. I want that kind of case. I want to take that trip. I want to meet with that kind of partner. I want that kind of opportunity. I want that level of work. I want that project. So I would set goals because I wanted what they had, but that would make me go, but why don't I have it? Like, I should have that, right? Like, I should be making that much money. What are they doing that I'm not doing, right? Like, I'm showing up, I'm doing work, I'm being good, I'm like dotting I's and crossing T's. So why don't I have it, right? And it would immediately like make me feel badly. Does that make sense? And that happens quite frequently with people. In fact, I see this a lot in entrepreneurship. I see this a lot in business, right? Where you see something that another business owner has that you want. Like, oh, they have this group of like 5,000 people and my Facebook group only has 800 people. And like, I really want 5,000 people, right? So it's motivating because you're like, I want that thing. But then it's like, but why don't I have it? Like, I'm doing all the same things that they're doing. So why don't I have the thing? Or like, wow, they're getting to speak on stages and like, I keep applying and I don't get selected. And why do they have it and I don't have it, right? Why am I not getting picked? Or do you know what I'm saying? Like, I see this a lot, right? We want something, but the minute that we declare that we want it, we beat ourselves up for not having it. So how many of you, and honestly, like, be honest, have ever felt like that at all, at any time, right? So here's the thing that's happening, right? The whole no matter what camp you fall in, right? Whether you set a hard goal or not, right? There's still milestones. There's still things that you're working for. There's still things that you're trying to achieve. What's happening is you're chasing a feeling, right? This is why camp 2, the people who don't like to set goals because it makes them feel bad, or when they focus on what they don't have, right? A goal does, like, you see this in weight loss a lot, right? When people are like health and nutrition and they set a goal for losing weight, they get frustrated that they haven't lost the weight. Like, the very act of setting a goal to lose weight makes them go, oh, but why haven't I lost weight? Why can't I do it? Why are they able to do it? Why, right? Like, the very act of setting a goal for some people makes them feel bad, but regardless of whether you're actually setting the goal or not, you're still going after something because of the feeling it will give you, right? So goal motivated people would totally set a goal to get healthy and to whatever that means for them, right? Non-goal motivated people would not set the goal because it immediately makes them feel badly about the fact that they haven't obtained the thing yet. But either way, right? Either way, both camps are chasing something. Hi, Sharon. Oh, I'm so glad you're on, Sharon. I meant to email you, and I'm going to email you. Or I'm going to send you a Facebook message after this. I'm so glad you're right. But either way, here's what's happening. Whether you're goal motivated and you set goals to like achieve things, or you don't like setting goals because it makes you feel bad about what you don't have, you're still going after things in life because you're chasing a feeling. That's why if you don't like to set goals, you don't like to set them because they make you feel bad, right? Like, we're all chasing a feeling. In fact, I think it's Danielle Laporte. It could not be Danielle Laporte, but I'm pretty sure it's Danielle Laporte that says, like, you're not actually setting goals, or you're not going after a goal, you're actually going after the feeling that the goal gives you, right? And that's true. Like, that is absolutely what we're doing. Like, we are chasing a feeling, okay? We're always setting goals, and we're always going after another goal or another milestone because of what achieving that goal or that milestone, how that will make you feel. Does that make sense? So what happens is, well, okay, so what happens, there's a lot I want to talk about today. Everybody's like, so what's bad about that, right? I'm goal motivated. Here's what happens. You reach the goal and you still don't feel that way. Does that make sense? So how many of you have felt like that before? Like, oh, once this happens, you like imagine the way you're going to feel in life, or you imagine the way things are going to be, and then you reach the goal and it's like you don't feel that way, and you're kind of like, what am I doing wrong? Or, oh, I guess that's not it. There's another goal I need to set, right? I see this all the time, like, oh my gosh, once I reach my first client, once I sign my first client, then I'm just going to feel incredible. And they sign their first client, they feel incredible for like 2 seconds, right? And then they're already on to the goal for like getting the next client, because they're like, oh, well, I still don't feel the way that I really thought I'd feel, right? I don't feel like I've made it. I don't feel successful. I don't feel like an expert. I don't feel, however you thought achieving that milestone or that goal would make you feel. It's like you get there and you don't feel that way. Oh, once I am making 6 figures in my business, then I'm going to feel so happy, and I'm going to feel like so secure. And then and you get to 6 figures and you're like, I'm not happy and I don't feel secure. I guess I need to make multiple 6 figures or something like that, right? Sharon says, that makes sense. Accomplishment creates a feeling. For me, I'm goal motivated and I feel so good when I get the goal. It's motivated to take on. Yes. Okay. I'm so glad you said that, Sharon, because what that's an illustration of is that we are waiting for external things for the feelings that we want to feel. Okay. So it's like, oh, once I reach this goal, then I feel like this. So now I want another goal because of the feeling of accomplishment, right? Like, I want to reach the next goal because of how it makes me feel when I reach the goal, right? But what happens is you reach the goal and it doesn't make you feel long-term, right? It's a quick dopamine effect that gets released, right? So you don't feel long-term the way you really thought you'd feel. And so like you're already setting the next goal and you feel a little overwhelmed because it feels like you've never quite made it. You feel like there's always more to do. Does that make sense? So, or you set the goal and then you don't achieve the goal and that makes you feel badly, right? And so all of that creates a perfect storm for envy and for comparison and like a really negative mindset, right? Because you're like, I don't get, like, I'm making 6 figures, I have a team, but I don't think that I'm where she is. Why am I not showing up that peaceful and that happy and that joyous and that whatever? Or like, oh my gosh, like, I don't have that thing, so I feel badly, right? I feel like whatever. So Sharon says, yeah, it's not a long-term feeling. There's always more to do. That's what I mean. It feels like there's always more to do, and that gets overwhelming, right? It feels like, oh my gosh, I reached this thing. It felt good for a minute, but now there's like more to do, right? Okay, so this becomes important because people go at the process of achieving a goal in the same way. Okay, so just hear me out, and at the end, I'm going to loop this all together in 3 super simple actions for you to do immediately, right? Because you know me, I like to give you actions that you can do right now to realize results right now. Okay, but people go at the process in the same way. So like, there's a goal that they want to reach, and then the process becomes the way to reach the goal, okay? So here's what I mean. Like, maybe you want to get a client, and so you go networking. So the networking becomes about the goal, about like getting the client. Okay, so how many of you, be honest, and if you're watching on replay, I'd love to know too, how many of you have felt frustrated before because you're going networking, but you don't have clients, or you're going networking and it's like there's still no business to show for it? Like, you're going networking and you're meeting all these great people, but there's no new business because of it. Like, honestly, how many of you have ever felt like that before? Whether you've done virtual networking or you've done in-person networking, right? And guys, I'm looking down. I wrote like teeny tiny notes today. You know, it's good when I write notes, right? But how many of you have felt like that, right? I talk to clients all the time where the process becomes about getting the goal, okay? It's like live streams, right? I love live streams, but some people are like, oh man, like I'm doing live streams, but I'm not getting any engagement, or I'm not getting any viewers. Nobody's logging on, or if they log on, they're not commenting, right? Because the live streams become about getting engagement, or about getting a client, or getting a, so the process, people make the process into the way that you're getting the goal, okay? And so what happens is, like, you don't get the goal. Okay, so here's what I want to say. So now you have a goal. Like, let's say that the goal is to get a new client. And the way that you're trying to get a new client is by going networking. Okay, so now the process, which is networking, has become about getting the client, about the goal. But let's say you keep going and going and going out networking and you don't get the client. Okay, so then what happens is you feel really crappy that you didn't get the client, but now you also don't like the way that you're trying to get the client, right? So now you don't like networking. Does that make sense? Oh, Lisa's like, I admit to that frustration, right? So does this make sense? It's like when you make the process about achieving the goal, if you don't reach the goal, then what happens is you kind of don't enjoy the process, right? The process now also becomes something that makes you feel bad because it's not working, and it's not working the way you wanted it to, right? So now you're beating yourself up over not getting the goal, but you're also beating yourself up over the process. Like, is that clear? Does that make sense, right? For example, what is a goal? I'm curious, guys. What is a goal that you haven't reached that you want to reach? Like, what's a goal I'm going to write these down too. What's a goal that you're working towards right now that you haven't actually reached yet? So like, maybe you're trying to get a client. Maybe that's a goal you're working on right now. Maybe you're trying to write a book. That's a goal you're working on right now. Like, what is a goal that you are working on right now? I want to know who wants to share. What's a goal that I'm so glad, guys, that I pulled this up on my phone because Facebook isn't showing me any comments. I'm never going to use I always say this every time I use Facebook Live for the live. I'm always like, I'm never going to use Facebook Live again. I'm only going to use StreamYard. And then I use Facebook Live, and then I'm like, oh, I'm never going to use Facebook Live again. Okay, so Kim says, I'm trying to hit 6 figures. Okay, who else? So Kim's goal is 6 figures. Who else out there? And if you're watching on replay, I still want you to answer because I'm going to come back and you can actually work through these next set of questions as well, right? I've got a whole set of questions right here that I'm going to go over, but like a goal that you're working towards that you haven't reached, right? So the next question after you tell me what the goal is, and I'm going to go with Kim because Kim said 6 figures. Kim, how are you going to feel after you've reached the 6-figure goal? And Lisa says more clients. So let's just say like another client, Lisa, you're saying my next client. How are you going to feel after you sign your next client, Lisa? How are you going to feel? And Sharon says selling $2,000 worth of books to pay for publishing my next book. So Sharon, how are you going to feel after you sell $2,000 worth of books? This is what I want to know. How are you going to feel after this has happened? I want to see all of your answers, okay? How are you going to feel, which is your kind of your why, right? How are you going to feel after you've reached this goal? Kim's like, I would feel excited, relieved, and secure financially, right? So we're going to say excited, relieved, and secure. Who else? So Lisa, how are you going to feel after you sign your next client? And Sharon, how are you going to feel after you sell, right, $2,000 of books for your next book? Kim says, I also know I won't if I don't start celebrating my process. We're going to talk about that too. Sharon's like relieved, so I can pay for publishing. Okay, so Sharon says she's going to feel relieved, right? Okay. And then what about you, Lisa? Are you still with me? Are you still with me, Lisa? So I'm going to go. So here's the thing. Here's the tricky thing that happens with goal setting, right? It's the only way to attract things. And when I say things, I mean opportunities, situations, people, resources, actual tangible things. And I see that Lisa says accomplished. I'm going to use the word accomplished for you, okay? So I'm going to use excited for Kim, accomplished for Lisa, and relieved for Sharon. Those are the words that I'm going to go with, okay? So just remember your word, okay? But here's the tricky kind of little thing that happens with goals, right? Is that the only way to attract the people, the situations, the opportunity, the client, the money, the tangible things. So the people, the tangible things, the situations, the events, the whatever. We're going to call all of that things, okay? The only way to attract things, right, that will make you feel the way that you said you're going to feel is by feeling that way right now. So the only way, Kim, that you can attract anything that will make you ultimately feel excited in your business is to be excited right now. Lisa, the only way that you will attract the kinds of clients that you will sign that will make you feel accomplished is by feeling accomplished right now, like right this minute, right? That you're going to attract all the things that need to happen to sell $2,000 worth of books so that you feel relieved is to feel relieved right now. Does that make sense? Like, here's what's, if you're waiting to feel a certain way until after you've reached a goal, you've put yourself in a state of lack. Does that make sense? In a state of scarcity, right? Because you're looking at what you don't have, right? Like, I can't feel excited until I've hit six figures. It's not that you're consciously thinking that thought, but when you're saying, oh, after I hit six figures, I'll feel so excited. What you're saying is I don't actually feel excited right now. I'm waiting to hit six figures until I feel excited, right? And it's kind of the same thing when I say, hey, how are you going to feel after you reach this goal? And you say something like accomplished. What that's really a signal of is you don't feel accomplished right now. You won't feel accomplished until you sign the next client, right? Like when Sharon said relieved, right? It's like, oh, you don't actually feel relieved right now. You're waiting to feel relieved until you sell $2,000 worth of books. Does that make sense? And so then what happens is you have now put yourself in a place of lack because you're now lacking excitement, you're lacking relief, you're lacking accomplishment. Oh, Kim, don't worry. Don't worry, Kim. I'm giving you practical, tangible tips, right? So I want you to file that nugget away. I'm going to tell you a story first before I give you tips, because you know I'm going to give you the tips. But I want you to file that nugget away. Because here's the thing, like attracts like, right? You can't attract things that are exciting and on that level of high energy excitement if you're not excited, right? Like excitement, pretend, is up here, and other things are down here. You're going to keep missing it, right? Like accomplished is up here. If you're not feeling accomplished, you're not going to attract the things that make you feel accomplished, right? Relief is up here. If you're feeling stressed and worried and whatever, you're not going to attract calm, peaceful, happy things that make you feel relieved. Does that make sense? Like attracts like. It's like a positive person doesn't attract a negative person, right? Like they repel each other. They don't want to spend a lot of time together, right? The only way to attract all of the things, and things are everything that we said, that will make you feel the way you want to feel is to feel that way right now, okay? So how many of you have heard this story before? I've shared it before, but my Captain Marvel story, yes or no? Just type, if you're listening right now, or type yes or no if you've heard the Captain Marvel story before. And if you have, it's okay. This is one thing I tell my clients. If you're hearing something you've heard before, there's something I want you to ask, which is, oh, well, how well am I doing this? How well am I doing this in my life right now, right? Or who else needs to know about this, okay? Okay, so the Captain Marvel story. There's a movie, Captain Marvel, and Brie Larson is the actress. It's not really a Captain Marvel story at all. It's a Brie Larson story, okay? So Brie Larson is the actress who plays Captain Marvel, but in all the Marvel movies, right? But before she was Captain Marvel, she was in other things, right? And there was an award she won. Best Actress, maybe that's the Oscar or an Academy Award. I'm not sure which one, okay? But Brie Larson was this was her first big award, okay? And she's really good friends with Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence is a famous actress who's been in the Hunger Games and everything like that. This is one of my favorite stories, right? So Brie Larson wins this big, huge accolade as Best Actress, right? She's been acting and acting and acting and acting, and she finally gets recognized and she wins this award. And the night after the award ceremony, she calls Jennifer Lawrence and she says, so here's the thing, Jennifer, I got this award, but when am I going to feel like I've made it? When am I going to feel like I'm a really good actress? Like, when am I going to feel like, oh, I've arrived, right? Like, what? Because I don't feel that. Shouldn't I feel that? Like, I won this big award, this big acknowledgement, this big, but I'm still sitting here feeling like an imposter, feeling like I'm not a good actress, like, feeling like I haven't gotten there yet, feeling like, when am I going to feel that way? And Jennifer Lawrence is like, never. Like, you're never going to feel like that. Like, there's not an external thing that suddenly makes you feel that way, right? Like, you just have to embrace it. There's not going to be anything that makes you feel like, I have arrived, I have made it, I am a great actress, right? And so you just have to really enjoy the process of acting. That's the only thing that will make you feel successful, right? Like Brie Larson was waiting, like, oh, this award should make me feel successful, right? Like, this external thing should make me feel this way, but I got this external thing and now I don't feel this way, so is it something else that's going to make me feel this way? And Jennifer's answer was like, no, the only thing that's going to make you feel that way is just enjoying the process, enjoying where you are right now. Like, the minute you can do that, you will always feel successful. Like, you will always feel, and then you're just going to keep attracting things, yes, and reaching milestones and reaching goals, but like, you're not, like, if you keep looking for the external thing to give you the feeling, you're going to miss it, right? The only way to have the feeling is to have it right now, and that involves enjoying the process. Does that make sense? So Lisa's like, oh my gosh, I have these feelings. I added the, oh my gosh, Lisa. Oh my gosh, I feel these feelings, right? I have these feelings. This is normal, and that's why I share this story, right? Like, you have to love the process of what you're doing, because that's the way you're going to feel happy, relieved, excited, successful, like you've made it, like you've arrived, right? And as an entrepreneur, it means you have to love the process of running a business. And there's so many people who don't love the process of how they're running their business, okay? Maybe they love what they do. They love speaking, or they love coaching, or they love drafting resume. That's the service. That's the thing that they love doing, right? But like, you have, when I say love the process, you have to love the process of building your business. If you're going to feel successful as a business owner, like I have a successful business, right? The only way you're going to feel like you have a successful business is to feel like a successful business owner right this very second, right? Right this very second. You can't wait to hit like a milestone or a marker, because that milestone or marker isn't going to suddenly make you feel successful as a business owner. Okay, so we can just accept that. Like, it's not going to make you feel successful as a business owner. Okay, so that means you have to feel successful now. Well, if you hate the process of how you're running your business, you're not going to feel successful now, right? And I'm going to get into it. I'm going to link the dots very clearly for you. So don't worry, Kim. I know you're waiting for the takeaways. You're going to have very bullet-pointed takeaways, okay? True or false? True or false, guys? You usually set a goal to fix something or to change something. True or false? That a goal is to fix something or to change something. I'm not saying all the time. I'm saying a majority of the time, okay? So like, you set a goal to lose weight because why? You're wanting to change your body, or you're wanting to change your health. You're wanting to fix your health, right? You set a goal to learn how to do a webinar because you're wanting to change something in your business. You're wanting to fix something, right? Like, oh, maybe that's how I'll get clients, right? You set a goal for something because you're wanting to fix something through changing something, right? Does that make sense? True or false? Oh my God, Kim's like, no, I'm a gold digger. Tell me what to do and tell me what to do right now. No, Kim, enjoy the process. Enjoy the process of this live and of learning, Kim. Enjoy the process of this live and of learning, right? Money is the biggest goal that does this, okay? So as a business owner, most people are focused on money. When I say, why do you want the thing you want? Why do you want to feel, why do you want to be fully booked? Why do you want to sell the book? It all comes down to money as a business owner, okay? Like I want money, right? Like, so I want to be fully booked because then I'll have money. And if I have money, it's going to fix fix something. It's going to let me contribute to my family, and I haven't been able to contribute. So it'll fix my feeling of guilt at not being able to contribute. True or false, right? Like Sharon, the $2,000 to sell the book, that's a goal that's fixing something. Her quote unquote inability to pay for the next book, right? Kim having 6 figures, right? The reason that Kim has the goal of 6 figures is because in her mind, in some way, I'm 100% certain, because we've all been there, 6 figures will change or fix something in her life, right? Having a full client roster will change or fix something in your life. Selling $2,000 worth of books will change or fix something in your life, right? So it's usually true that every single time you set a goal, it is to change something, to change a situation, to change an internal feeling, to fix something that's broken. It's to fix or to change something, like every single time. Like, does that make sense? And especially, I can get you back down to money. It's like, why do you want to be fully booked? Well, because then I'll feel accomplished. Cool, but also we could find other ways for you to feel accomplished. Why fully booked? Well, because then I'll have the money. Okay, and then what will the money do? It lets me contribute to my family. Okay, there we go, right? Like, it's back down to money, allowing you to contribute, which fixes something in your family, or changes something in your family, or changes a feeling internally, right? So it's always like, once I have X, then this, right? Once I have a full client roster, then once I sell $2,000, like Sharon, once I sell $2,000 worth of books, then I can publish my next book. And I guarantee if Sharon was my private client, I would look at her and say, I guarantee that there's another way that we can get the money for you to publish your next book. Why are you waiting? Why are you waiting, Sharon, to sell X thousands of dollars of this current book before you do the next book? What if the next book is the book that just like, boom, takes off and like, you know, or changes a life or does something? Why are you waiting? Why are you like putting those in a parallel kind of situation? Like, I can only publish my next book after I sell this much of this book, right? And that's because you're looking for evidence that something is good or successful because you're able to sell that much book, right? What you're saying is, I'm not really a good author if I haven't sold this book, so I really probably shouldn't pay to publish the next book, right? But like, it's kind of like, right? Like, sorry, like, that's not true. Like, we can totally publish the next book and it has nothing to do with how many of your current book you sell, right? But that's where our brain thinks. It's like, it always is like, once I reach this goal, then this thing can happen, then this thing changes. This is solution-based thinking, okay? So here's what I mean, right? Like, solution-based thinking is when you think money will solve a problem, okay? So money will solve a problem. How many of you feel like if you just made $5,000 more a month, some of your problems would go away? Yes or no? If you made $5,000 more a month, some of your problems would go away. Like, I don't know, bills or, you know, something, like your inability to do something in your business or in your life. Like, honestly, how many of you feel if you made $500 more, if you made $5,000 more, if you made $50,000 more, then it would fix something, it would solve something, it would take away some challenges, it would take away some stress, it would whatever, right? That's the idea of money as a solution to a problem. But here's the thing. Money can't be the solution because it didn't cause the problem. The only thing that can cause the problem is when you fix the underlying thing that caused the problem, right? So like, if I say, oh, well, once I have more money, then I can do bigger things to get more clients, right? It's like, no, not true, right? Like, the reason I'm not doing bigger things to get clients is because of choices that I've made or I haven't made, right? People always say, oh, once I'm making more money in my job, I see it in corporate America a lot. Once I'm making more money in my job, then, right, then I can be a little bolder in meetings. Like, once I get the promotion or once I make more money and once I'm at this level in my career, then I can say these things. Then I can ask for this kind of benefit. Then I can, like, it's like, here's the thing. The reason you're not saying those things in the meeting or asking or not asking for something like a benefit or has nothing to do with the fact that you didn't have money, right? It has to do with like a lack of confidence or a lack of belief or a lack of whatever. Money won't solve that problem. You won't suddenly start feeling confident, right? Because of that. Does that make sense? It's so easy to see it in dating. It's so easy to see it in dating. People are like, well, once I get married, then I can go be more social. Once I get married, then I can go out more and feel more confident. It's like, no, like that getting married isn't going to solve that problem, right? The problem was caused by like the problem was caused by something else. Does that make sense? Like, are you guys seeing what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Right? Money can't solve the problem because money didn't cause the problem. It's choices that you made or did not make. It's like when people are like, no, Rita, you don't get it. Like, more money would let me travel, and I just don't have money to travel right now. And I'm like, cool, but you've made choices to not make more money, right? You made choices to not get a bigger job, or not like ask for a raise, or not like sell a bunch of stuff, or not whatever, right? Like, you have made choices that put you in a situation of making the money that you're making or not making. But that it's not just you were born with no money. Like, oh, I was born with the gene that won't let me make money and I'll never have money. And so like, oh, me and that gene, I guess I'm just born with the unlucky gene of never being able to have enough money for what I want. It's like, no, you're not a victim of that, right? That's not you weren't born with no money gene, and that's not the cause of your problems, right? The problems are you just haven't done things or made choices to make more because you were scared or they were risky or whatever. They're always justifications, and I'm not saying that all the justifications are wrong, right? There's no judgment. I'm just saying I want you to see money can never solve a problem because money did not cause the problem. Does that make sense? It's like choices that you made, right? And I say this because here's the thing, right? Here's the loop that we're talking about, right? Which is like, I set a goal because I want to feel a certain way. I set a goal because once I've reached this goal, then I'll feel like this. Then I'll be able to do this. Then this thing will be fixed, right? Except you reach the goal and it's like, oh, but I still don't feel that way. The Jennifer Lawrence and Brie Larson story, I still don't feel that way. I still don't feel financially secure. People always say, once I hit 6 figures, then I'll feel financially secure. And every single time they hit 6 figures, they don't feel financially secure. So they're like, well, maybe it's multiple 6 figures. I can tell you this from like, this is my Brie Larson story. I make multiple 6 figures and I still don't feel financially secure. Like, I know I'm financially secure. Like, I can look at things and know, okay, cool, we're financially secure. I don't feel it, okay? It doesn't just suddenly, oh, well, I made multiple 6 figures, so now I feel financially secure, right? Like, that's just not the way that it happens, okay? So I want you to see that. So it puts us in this loop because what happens is then we set another goal, right? Because it'll make us feel a certain way, and then we don't feel this certain way, and that creates this loop of frustration, of always feeling like there's something else to do, of overwhelm, like there's always more to do, of like something's wrong. Why have I not made it yet? Like Brie Larson, why haven't I made it? Why am I not feeling financially secure? What choices am I making that are bad in my business, right? It puts you in that loop. Having a goal is not bad. I have a whole bunch of them. You're going to see all next week in my Power Sheet series where you can win free Power Sheets, right? But like, here you guys go. Like, I use these things like my lifeblood, right, to set goals, okay? But here's the thing about it. Like, having a goal is not bad, but waiting to feel the way you want to feel until you've reached a goal is. Having a goal isn't bad, but waiting to have the experiences that you want in life until you've reached the goal is bad. Does that make sense? Are you guys following me, right? It's like, I could have a goal, right, let's see, I have a goal of hitting 7 figures, okay? So I have a goal of being a 7-figure business owner, right? And I could let myself feel bad right now, right? Like, saying, oh, well, I want to hit 7 figures, but wow, I'm only at 250,000. I'm only at 300,000. That's 700,000 more to go before I make X or before I whatever, right? Like, I could keep looking at how far the gap is and how much I don't have and how much like I don't have to do and feel bad about it, right? Like, and say, I can't feel happy until I've hit like the 7-figure mark, right? A lot of people say, like peacefulness, okay? So it's like, I'll feel peaceful, or like Kim said, secure, right? I'll feel peaceful or secure after I whatever. And it's like, again, What I want to say is that you're putting yourself in a place of lack because you're denying yourself something and you're saying, I don't have something yet, right? Like, not because I set the goal. Like if I set a goal for 7 figures, yes, I don't have 7 figures right now, but that hasn't put me in a place of lack. What puts me in a place of lack is if I look at what I don't have yet when I set the goal. I'm setting a goal for 7 figures, but if I focus on the 700,000 that I need to get to 7 figures, right, then I've put myself in a place of lack. Does that make sense? In a place of scarcity. If I'm setting a goal to get healthy, right, and I'm looking at how much weight I still have to lose, I'm putting myself in a place of lack because I don't have that yet, right? And what did we just say? Like attracts like. So when you're in scarcity, when you're in lack, when you're in frustration, when you're in overwhelm, guess what you attract? More scarcity, more lack, more frustration, more overwhelm, right? So when you realize that you don't have to wait, you don't have to wait to feel the way that you want to feel, it puts you in abundance, right? So here's what I mean. Kim, you said that when you hit 6 figures, you will feel excited. That's the word we're going to use for you. Lisa, you said when you sign your next client, you'll feel accomplished. Sharon, you said when you sell $2,000 worth of books, you're going to feel relieved. My question for you guys is, what can you do to feel that way right now? What is something else in your life that you can do that will cause that same feeling? So Kim, what could you do right now today that would make you feel excited? Lisa, what could you do right now today that would make you feel accomplished? Sharon, what could you do right now today that would make you feel that sense of peace? Okay, so relief is kind of hard, but like peacefulness or security that relief will bring, right? What can you do right now? Like for me, if I'm going to feel joyous when I make 7 figures, right, then I need to do things right now and as much as possible that make me feel joyous. So I need to surround myself with fresh flowers. I always say that because fresh flowers make me feel joyous. I need to like go outside and walk because it makes me feel joyous. I need to sit on my deck. When I sit on my deck, quarantine made my deck an oasis. And when I sit on my deck, I feel joyous, right? I need to like cheer for a friend, go cheer on a friend. When I do that, I feel joyous, right? When I listen to like upbeat music and dance around, I feel joyous. Like the more that I can do now to feel joyous makes me joyous. And when I am joyous, I'm going to make choices and take actions that are equal to the level of a joyous person, meaning I am going to attract more things that make me joyous, right? So if you're waiting to feel a certain way, accomplished, arrived, excited, financially secure, whatever it is, until something's happened, you're never actually going to feel that way, much like the Brie Larson story, right? And so you have to find ways, other ways to feel that right now. So I'm asking you, like, Lisa's like, I can celebrate the small wins, right? So the way that she can feel accomplished is by tracking her small wins and celebrating them, marking them with a celebration, right? Like I love that. I think that's so. I love that. I love celebrating the process, the progress, right? Now, that's something that you can do immediately. That's number 1, right? Like don't wait to feel the way that you want to feel. Feel it now. That's the only way you're going to attract other things that will make you feel that way, right? Like think about it. A financially secure person attracts all of the clients and all of the people and all of the things and all of the sales and all of the whatever that bring more security, right? Someone who does not feel secure, right, who isn't confident, who isn't they're making choices at a level that are going to not attract more of those things, right? Kim is like massages and candles too. Oh, I should think about this. Working out does that for me. Good meals, travel, time with family and friends, right? So Kim, the more you can do that, the more you feel excited, the more things you're going to attract that will make you feel excited, right? Sharon's like sitting on my porch with a chai tea and to complete small wins on other things, right? Like the more you guys do that now, so don't wait to feel the way, identify the way that you're going to feel when you reach a goal and let yourself feel that way right now, right this second. Like don't wait because that's the only way, right? Like think about it. A 7-figure CEO, right? If my goal is 7 figures, right? And I know that when I hit 7 figures, I'm going to feel secure and I'm going to feel invincible and I'm going to feel excited and I'm going to feel whatever, right? If I'm not operating at that level, I'm not going to attract the kinds of things that would be attracted to that, right? Like I'm just not, I'm going to push it away, right? Also, what you focus on expands, right? That was the example that I just gave before. So what you focus on expands. Focus on what you have and not what you don't have. So people are always like, Rita, why don't I have clients yet? Well, guess what you're focused on? Your lack of clients. And what you focus on expands. So if you focus on lack, you're just going to get more lack. If you're like, Rita, why don't I have 6 figures yet? I'm only making $2,000 a month and I want to make $10,000 a month. And you're focused on, can you guys hear me now? Can you guys see me now? I'm here. Can you see me now? I don't know because there's a lag. So I'm like, can you see me now? Can you see? I'm watching myself on my phone too. Can you hear me? Can you see me? This is why I don't use Facebook Live anymore. This is why I always use StreamYard and why I will always use StreamYard. This is why. But can you hear me now? Okay. Sharon's like, I can. Okay, good. Okay, I can hear you. Okay, good. But I'm never using Facebook Live ever again. Ever again. This time I mean it. This time I mean it, okay? All right. So what you focus on expands. So if you're like, oh, Rita, I want to make $10,000 a month, but you're like, I'm making $1,000 a month, right? You're focused on what you don't have yet, right? I don't have $9,000 or $8,000. If you're wanting to make 6 figures and you're not like, don't focus on what you don't have. That's why the weight goal, right? Like I want to lose weight. You're focused on the weight, like the thing that you have more, like don't focus on what you don't yet have. Focus on what you have, right? Because when you focus on what you have, it expands because it puts you in abundance. Does that make sense? Because you don't have to wait to have, you have right now. So my example of hitting 7 figures in my business, I could focus on $700,000 that I need to hit 7 figures and feel like I'm in lack and scarcity, which is only going to expand and create more lack and scarcity. Or I could be super grateful for what I have, right? And some people are like, well, Rita, I just want to make my first dollar in business and I don't have a dollar. So are you telling me to be grateful for the fact that I'm not making a single penny in my business? No. Be grateful for what you have, which are maybe you have an expansive network, maybe you have support, maybe you have opportunities, maybe you have the ability to have a sales call with people, maybe you haven't signed a client yet. But if you keep focusing on the fact that you haven't signed a client yet, but you're not feeling grateful for all of the sales calls you've had, right? That's going to put you in a state of lack because you're focused on not having the client. Instead of being focused on, I've had so many incredible sales calls and opportunities to get a client. If you focus on the incredible sales calls and the incredible opportunity to get a client, opportunities to get a client, guess what you're going to attract more of? Guess what's going to expand, right? More fabulous opportunities and sales calls and ability to get a client. Does that make sense? So like that's number 2, right? Focus on what you have and step into gratitude right now. Because if you're in gratitude and abundance right now, you will attract more gratitude and abundance. If you are not grateful right now and you are not in abundance and you are in lack and scarcity, then you will be in lack and scarcity because that will expand. Does that make sense? Like, this is why I tell some of my clients who have money mindset, like they come to me to work on money mindset, to celebrate all their money. This is something you could do right now. It's not even something that I was going to say, but you could do this right now. So what I have them do is celebrate every penny they find all day long. So if they find a penny or if they find a quarter in the wash, I have them pick up that penny and polish it off or whatever and celebrate it. Do a little dance and say, woohoo, I found 25 cents, right? If they walk by a penny on the ground, I have them pick up the penny, shine it up, put it in a special jar, and do a little dance that they found the penny. If they find $1 in their coat pocket, I have them celebrate that they found this dollar they didn't know that they had with a little dance and put it in the money jar. Just today, I opened my wallet and I had a $25 Target gift card that I completely forgot I had, right? And I did a little dance like, woohoo, I have $25, right? Like if you get a random rebate check, like a $2 rebate check that you didn't know you were going to get, celebrate it, do a little dance, right? How many times have you walked by a penny on the ground? How many times have you, right? But that's because you're not focused on what you have. You're still focused on what you don't have, which is like all that money that you want to be making, right? You're not making it. And because you're so focused on the money you're not making, you're not celebrating and seeing all the money that's around you. And because you're not celebrating or seeing all the money that's around you, you're not going to attract more of it. You're in lack and not abundance, right? But if you start saying, I am so grateful that I have 50 cents right now, like, I'm so grateful for that, right? You're going to see and find more money. Right? The more you're in gratitude now, the more there will be to be grateful for. You can't wait, right? So that's number 2. You have to focus on what you have and express and experience excitement and gratitude for it right now. Because if you're grateful for what you have, there will be more to be grateful for, okay? Again, it's not gratitude for not having a client. It's like, it's not, I'm so grateful that I don't have a client. It's, I'm so grateful for the opportunities that I had to get a client. I'm so grateful that I have the internet. I'm so grateful that I can go post in a Facebook group. I'm so grateful that I can attend a networking event. I'm so grateful that I can whatever, right? Like, focus on that, right? So if I had to put these into some takeaways right now, and then I'm going to loop it with 1 or 2 bigger ones. Number 1, feel the way that you want to feel right now, right? Like, feel it now. Don't wait till you reach a goal. Find ways to be feeling that feeling or those feelings as much as possible right now, because that's the only way you're going to attract everything in your business that will help you reach the goal that will make you feel that way, okay? Be grateful for what you have. Focus on what you have and not what you don't. And be grateful and abundant now. If you feel like you're not abundant now, you're not going to attract abundance. So you have to feel that way now, okay? And then don't use the goal as the solution. So like in this example, it's Kim's 6 figures can't be the solution to problems in her life. Right? The problems in Kim's life that she thinks 6 figures are going to solve are because of things she has or hasn't done up to this point. So only fixing the things that kept her from making 6 figures are going to be what allows her to make 6 figures. Does that make sense? So that's number 3, right? Let's talk a little bit about like inspiration from people too, because we talked about comparison, and I want to touch on this for 1 second. Looking up to somebody, right? Because I always talk about upping your 5, and how if you have someone who's at the level you want to be at, you learn their habits, you learn from them, they pull you up. That's very important, right? But very easily looking up, right? Looking up at somebody can end up turning into envy and can turn into comparison, which puts you back into what you don't have and puts you back into lack. So I think it's important to have mentors, and I think it's important to have people that you look up to, and coaches and guides and all kinds of things that are helping pull you up. But you have to be super careful to not let that turn into comparison or into envy, okay? So here's how you do that. If you start noticing that you're feeling envy or you're comparing and you're saying, why do they have it and I don't have it? So this could be somebody you're looking up to or somebody else in your industry or profession, and you're like, why do they have it and I don't have it? I want you to ask yourself, why do you want it? So if anyone is willing to answer, this would be helpful. If not, I've got an example that I can whip out of my back pocket, okay? But what is something that you have found yourself recently kind of going, why do they have it and I don't have it? Why are they able to do that and I'm not able to do that? Why is that happening for them but not happening for me? Why did they get that so easily and I'm not getting that so easily? Why have they arrived at that and I haven't arrived at that? Why is that happening for them and not for me? Is there anybody who wants to share anything like that that they felt at all? I'm going to take a sip of my soda while you, like, I don't want to advertise, right? Okay, so Lisa says, I recently fell in the green eyes of envy for a hot minute for someone in my work. So tell me what you mean, though. What were you envious of? What were you envious of, Lisa? Because I'm going to tell you, this is a normal feeling. I'm going to tell you what to do to pull yourself out of it, right? I compared the title they had to mine and said that was the reason. But were you envious of the title, or were you envious of the results that they had in their business? So were you envious of what? Like, the awareness that they have, or the number of clients, or the type of clients, or the amount of money that they're making in their business? Like, what is it that you were kind of envious of? Okay. because I am going to tell you like how to get out of that comparison and envy, right? So if I can use your example, Lisa, as a real world example, that'd be great. But like I said, I also have example I can whip out of my back pocket, right? So like, again, looking up can quickly is good. Mentors are good, coaches are good. But when you feel that turning into comparison or envy, here's what I want you to say. Okay, so Lisa, why do you want that thing? So you say the number of eyes on their business. Like, why do you want the number of eyes on the business? I'd love to know. Kim says, I felt that today. I won't offer details, but I was envious of their opportunities and results of their business. Money, type of clients, recognition. Okay, so tell me something. The recognition, Kim. Why do you want that recognition? You're envious of the recognition. Why do you want it? Lisa, you're envious of the number of people who are aware of their business. Why do you want that? This is how you pull yourself out of comparison, okay? You ask yourself, why do I want it? So I want to know those two answers. I'll give you an example of what was in my back pocket so that you know too, okay? So like a lot of people are like, oh, they get to travel the world for their business. I'm so jealous. I want to travel the world for my business. And I'm like, okay, why do you want to travel the world? Why do you want to travel the world? And maybe the answer is I'll experience new cultures. I like to experience new cultures. Okay, so then I say, cool, what's one thing you can do right now that's in alignment with your current time and money situation that will let you experience new cultures? And they're like, oh, well, I guess I could go to this meetup group. I could watch this documentary. I could try this this food from this ethnic restaurant that I found. I could join like a language group. I could read this book. There are all kinds of ways that they suddenly identify, right, that they can experience other cultures, right, that they can do it right now. So then they need to do something like that, right? So when you're feeling envy or that comparison, say, why do I want it? So like Lisa's like, they have a funnel and I want to have that too. Why do you want to, I'm going to keep pushing you, Lisa. Why do you want a funnel? You keep asking why till you get down to the thing and you know what it's going to be. Like, why do you want a funnel, Lisa? Tell me that. Why do you want a funnel? You're like, I was envious. They have a funnel and I want to have a funnel too. Why do you want to have a funnel? Many followers were so active in the content and begging to work with her in the comments. She was fully booked. Okay, so I can say, well, why do you want the funnel, Lisa? But also, why do you want to be fully booked? We kind of got to why do you want to be fully booked? Because then you'll feel accomplished, right? Why do you want the funnel? Why do you want the funnel? I'm going to keep saying, why do you want the funnel, Lisa? Why do you want the funnel? Tell me why you want the funnel. Tell me what's going on that you want this. You can tell I'm not ending until I get these answers, right? But I want you to say, why do you want the thing? And then I want you to find a way that's in alignment with your time and money situation to go get the same why. She said, okay, so the security of business. Lisa, what's one thing that you can do today, right now, to feel security in your business? Like, what's one thing you could do right now, this second, this minute, to go feel like that security in your business, right? If you wanted the funnel because you're like, I want people to be aware of my business, then it's like, cool. What's one thing that's in alignment with your time and money situation that you can do, Lisa, to go build awareness of your business, right? Kim's like, recognition so that I can work with anyone I want, right? I can feel accomplished and see. So Kim, what's one thing you can do right now that's in alignment with your money and time situation that could get you recognition, or that can put you a step closer to working with somebody that you want? Or do you see what I'm saying? Like, so there are two things. When we know how we want to feel, we can find other things that will allow us to feel like that right now. So Kim, what's something that will allow you to feel accomplished today? What is something you can do to feel seen today, right? Like, what's something you can do to feel seen right now today in a different way, right? So when you identify how you want to feel, ask yourself, what is other ways? What are other things I can go do right now to feel that way and let myself feel that feeling? Like, if I want to feel peaceful, I can go take a bubble bath, right? Like, I can do these things. But also ask yourself, If you're envious of something somebody has, say, why do I want that thing? Because people want it for different reasons. I could say, why do you want to go on an around the world cruise? And someone could say, well, because I want to experience other cultures. And someone else could say, because I want to disconnect. I'm so burned out. I just want to relax for a whole year. And I'll be like, cool. How can you go relax right now? Like, what's something you can do that's in alignment with your money and time situation that will allow you to go relax right now? And they're like, well, I guess I could turn off my phone for an hour and go sit outside and like turn on the steel drum band on my radio and like listen to it. Cool. Go do that right now, right? Like, you can't do the bigger thing, but go do what you can. So those are two things. How will this make me feel? And then find ways to feel like that. But then why do I want the thing? When you're envy, comparing you, when you want something somebody has, say, why do I want it? And then what's something else that I could do in alignment with my money and time situation to go to either move myself one step closer to it, or something else that I can do for that same reason. Like, if you want to experience other cultures because you go on an around the world cruise, cool. But there are like a million other things that you can do, right? A million other things that you can do to experience other cultures right now that would be in alignment with your money and time situation. So this is the way, right, that you start attracting more things, is by allowing yourself to feel the way you want to feel now and to have the experiences that you want to have right now, not waiting until you hit an external goal or have something external happen to allow you to feel a certain way or allow you to have a certain experience. Does that make sense? So like, there are two things to sum this up, right? One is like, you have to be consistent to have success. I think we know that. You have to be consistent, right? But the only way to be consistent is if you love the process of what you're doing, okay? And because if you don't love the process of something, you're not going to be consistent with it. If you don't like the process of how you're trying to reach a goal, you're not going to be consistent with it because you don't like the process, right? So you have to like the process. You have to love the process. But the way you love the process is by letting yourself feel the way you want to feel right now and have the experience that you want to have once you reach the goal right now. So this is like the thing, right? If I say, well, wow, when I'm a seven-figure business owner, right? When I'm a seven-figure business owner, I can have more fun. I can spend more time with my friends, and I can feel, I don't know, we'll say secure, right? If those are the three things, like if it's like, what do you want to, here's a better way to ask this question. What do you want to be true once you've reached the goal? So like when I say, oh, my goal is 7 figures, right? And I know how I want to feel. I will feel so excited when I reach 7 figures. Cool. So now we know that I have to say, what is a way that I can feel excited right now? What are all the ways that I can feel excited right now? And then go do these things so I can feel excited right now. Okay, cool. But also, like, what do I want to be true from hitting 7 figures? Why 7 figures, right? It's like, after I've hit 7 figures, what do I want my life to be like? Okay, so it's like, after I've hit 7 figures, I want to be cultivating really deep relationships with my friends. I want to have more time for fun and I want fun and travel. I want to, well, we'll stay with those. Let's say that those are 2. There are more, but like, let's say those are 2. Then I have to make sure that the process of getting to 7 figures includes those things. Because here's my favorite quote. The process of getting there is the experience being there. So if you think that hitting a goal is going to make you feel secure and make you feel peaceful and make you feel happy, the process of hitting that goal has to have those feelings in it, right? If the process is chaotic and stressful and full of fear, right? It's not like you're suddenly going to hit a goal and now feel different ways, right? When people are like, oh, well, once I hit 6 figures, then I want to have more fun in my life. Well, then the process of hitting 6 figures has to include fun in your life, right? Your process is the experience. So if your process of hitting a goal is chaotic, if it's stressful, if it's full of fear, if it's feeling scarce, right? That's what, when you reach the goal, even if you reach the goal, When you reach the goal, you're still going to feel the same way, chaotic, stressful, full of fear, right? It's not going to change your feeling. So the only thing you can do is the process of getting to the goal has to mirror what you want to be true once you've reached the goal. So if being fully booked with a waiting list, right, allows Lisa to contribute to her family, right, and allows Lisa to maybe be more connected to her husband or spend more time with her children, right, then the process of becoming fully booked with a waiting list has to include those things. So I would say you have to ask yourself every day, Lisa, what's one thing I can do today to contribute to my family, right? What's one thing that I can do today to contribute to my family? What's one thing I can do today to connect with my husband? What's one thing I can do today to spend more time with my kids, right? For me, what I gave you about cultivating relationships and having more fun for travel, it's like I have to ask myself every day, if that's what I want to be true when I'm at 7 figures, I have to ask myself every day, what's one thing I can do today to cultivate a relationship? And it might be text somebody. It might be send a gift to somebody. It might be handwrite a letter. It might be cheer somebody on. It might be acknowledge something. It might be share somebody else's business. There's a different answer every day, depending on my energy and my time and my money situation, right? If I want to travel more when I hit 7 figures, I need to ask myself, what can I do today to allow myself to travel more? Or like, what can I do today to travel more? And people are like, well, that's crazy. You can't go get on a plane. No, but I can drive to a new restaurant down the street. I can take a new route to the gas station. I can go look at, the Blue Ridge Mountains. I can go drive to the park and walk in the park. Like, what can I do that's in alignment with my actual situation right now, my time and my money situation, right? But if I do that every day, if I make sure the process of building my business includes the way I want to feel after I've hit a goal in my business, then I'm more likely to actually stick and be consistent with the process, right? If my days are stressful, full to the brim, I'm not talking to my friends, I'm not working out, I'm not sleeping well, right? I'm not spending time with my husband, right? I'm not going to be consistent with whatever I'm doing to build my business. I'm going to burn out, I'm going to whatever, and I'll never reach the goal, right? So if what I want to be true is I'm working out, I'm spending time with my husband, I'm having fun, I'm taking a nap every day when I'm a 7-figure business owner, then right now, every day I need to be taking a nap, I need to be spending time with my husband, I need to be working out, right? I have to build that into my process in order for it to be true as the experience. Does that make sense? So anyway, that's how I'll be consistent with it, right? So how are you consistent with the process? You love the process. How do you love the process? It uses your strengths. It's in alignment with your values. It uses your strengths. It's in alignment with your values. And it provides for what you want to be true after you've reached the goal. It lets you feel the way you want to feel right now and do the things that you want to do right now without having to wait to reach the goal. If you can do these things, you will attract more to allow you to reach your goals. Does that make sense? This is how you can be inspired without feeling inferior. You only feel inferior when you're in lack and you feel like you can't have something, right? But when you realize I can have what I want right now and I'm in abundance right now, I'm focused on what I have, not what I don't have. So I'm feeling gratitude for that and I'm feeling abundant. That will allow me to attract more. You only feel inferior when you're looking at what you don't have. So look at what you have, right? You only feel inferior when you're envious for what somebody has. But the reason you're envious is you think you have to wait to have that thing until you can feel that way or do that thing. So when you realize you can feel the way you want to feel, you can live the life that you want to live, you can have everything you want to have, you can have abundance right now and be grateful right now, and it might not be what that bigger picture vision is, but it's in alignment with your time and money and current life and situation right now, but that you can have it now, you will be consistent with the process of everything to reach everything that you want, okay? That's it, guys. I went over my time, but I thought it was important. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments. If you have an aha, if you have a takeaway, what is something different? I want to know, what is something you're going to do immediately, right, to implement this? My favorite is, if you want, like if Kim wants 6 figures, she needs to say, well, what'll be true in my life when I have 6 figures? It's like, oh, well, I'm working out and I'm spending time with friends and I'm going on dates. Okay, cool. So what's one thing you can do every single day to work out, to prioritize your friends, So like prioritize dating, right? You have to do it now. So like tell me what the thing is that you're going to do differently as a result of this. Tell me an aha or a takeaway. I would love to know. And yeah, make sure you're registered next week, guys, for my free 5-day Power Sheet series. I've got over $300 worth of goal setting tools and Power Sheets to give away as part of that 5-day. You know it's the most fun event I do every year. So talking about goals and talking about celebrating where you are now and talking about enjoying the process and the progress, like Power Sheets let you do all of this, right? And so you're going to want to know all about it if you don't know what it is. And if you do know what it is, and you know you're going to want to be part of this, so go, it's in my cover photo of my group. Click on it, register for the free event. That's the only way you can win this stuff is to be registered. And I look forward to talking to you all next week. Oh, Lisa says, I love you, Rita Goodrow. Takeaway, I'm going to celebrate a win that I did have today and snuggle these kids. Changed my dang perspective. I love that. Thank you for sharing. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And, you know, I'll be around. I'll see y'all soon. Take care. Bye.